At 76, King Charles III has surprised Britain with a confession about the greatest love of his life. It isn't Camilla, his current queen consort, or past romances, but Princess Diana, who is remembered with both admiration and sadness. In a private and emotional talk, King Charles shared something he hadn't said in decades. His decision to speak now, whether influenced by his health, the challenges facing the royal family, or lingering memories, is a testament to his courage. This heartfelt revelation has changed how the public sees his relationship with Diana, revealing regrets and a love that may have come at the wrong time. For the first time in years, King Charles spoke as a man who has loved deeply and hurt greatly. His feelings for Diana, long hidden behind royal traditions and public expectations, are now revealed in all their depth. He has opened up about the person who truly touched his heart. His voice was filled with sadness, making many wonder who he was talking about. Was it Camilla who stood by him, or Princess Diana, the mother of his children and the people's princess? Or could it be someone else entirely? King Charles reflected on lost time and missed opportunities. He shared how his heart once wished for something different, but royal duty held him back. He followed expectations, yet his heart always remembered the one it wanted. This confession wasn't just news, but a profoundly emotional moment resonating with people worldwide. Some cried, others were shocked, and many wondered, who was King Charles's true love? The royal truth might be more surprising than anyone thought, but it also brought us all closer in our shared understanding of love and sacrifice. The weight of the crown, love versus duty. Prince Charles had a very different childhood from most children. While others played freely, he grew up in palaces under the watchful eyes of nannies and royal aides. His actions were observed and shaped to prepare him for being king. As he grew older, the pressure of his royal role increased. At school, he was known as Charles, but also as the Prince of Wales, the heir to the throne. The expectations placed on him were high as he went through his teenage years at Gordonstoun and later at Cambridge, living a life of privilege but still bound by tradition. In his search for love, Charles fell for a woman who truly understood him, leading him to make the painful decision to let her go for the sake of duty. This sacrifice weighed heavily on him. Eventually, Charles married Lady Diana Spencer, who seemed like a perfect match. Their wedding was celebrated, but their relationship faced challenges behind the walls of Buckingham Palace. Diana struggled with her role as a royal, and Charles was haunted by the love he lost. Over time, their marriage fell apart under public scrutiny and personal struggles, revealing the painful truth behind the royal image. Although Charles fulfilled his royal duties, he lost a part of himself. He carried a quiet sadness, constantly reminded of the love he had to sacrifice for duty. Diana in the public eye, a complicated love story. When Lady Diana Spencer married Prince Charles, people around the world celebrated. Crowds filled the streets with flags, cheers, and tears of joy. Millions watched the wedding on TV, thinking it was a perfect fairy tale. Diana was just 20 years old, full of hope, in a beautiful white gown, while Charles wore his royal uniform. To everyone else, it seemed like a storybook wedding. However, behind palace walls, trouble was brewing. From the start, Charles and Diana were not a good match. They came from different backgrounds. Diana longed for love, but Charles had been raised to hide his feelings and focus on duty. Despite their efforts to bond, something important was always missing. Diana felt that Charles's heart belonged to another woman, Camilla Parker Bowles, his friend long before Diana came into his life. Diana spoke about her pain in a famous interview, saying, "There were 3 of us in this marriage," referring to Camilla. This shattered the fairy tale image of her marriage. At the same time, Charles struggled with his feelings for both women, trying to please everyone and hurting them. As their marriage crumbled, they separated and later divorced, disappointing a nation that had hoped for a happy ending. After the divorce, public sympathy for Diana grew. She became a symbol of kindness and strength, but tragically died in 1997. Charles was left feeling guilty and regretful, unable to embrace his love for Camilla fully. Their story remains one of beauty and heartbreak that still affects many today. Camilla, the woman who waited in the shadows. Camilla Parker Bowles was more than just a woman in Charles's life. She was his support and confidant. Before anyone knew Diana's name, their connection started in the early 1970s. They had a strong bond from the beginning that allowed Charles to be himself. With Camilla, he found someone who understood the challenges of royal life, which few others could. However, the royal family's expectations were the main obstacle to their love. As the future king, Charles faced pressure to marry someone who fit the royal image, and Camilla did not meet those standards. This pressure pushed Charles into a marriage with someone considered more suitable, despite his feelings for her. Charles married Lady Diana Spencer in 1981, showcasing a fairy tale. Yet, part of his heart was still with Camilla, who had married Andrew Parker Bowles. Despite living separate lives, their bond grew stronger while Charles's marriage to Diana became tenser. Their friendship turned into a secret affair, leading to public scrutiny when it was revealed. After Diana's tragic death in 1997, Charles began to focus on his relationship with Camilla, who supported him during tough times. Although public opinion about her was mixed, Charles wanted to be open about their relationship. In 2005, they married in a small ceremony, marking a new chapter for Charles, who sees Camilla as his strength. Their complicated love story survived judgment and separation. Recently, Charles hinted that his love story may be more complex, suggesting deeper layers to their relationship beyond what people know. In a surprising confession, King Charles said, "The love of my life is someone I never got to grow old with." Many initially thought he was referring to Camilla, his current wife, or Diana, his first wife. However, some rumors suggest he may be talking about a hidden love, someone who never sought the royal spotlight and loved Charles for who he was, not for his title. As he reflected on missed opportunities, some wondered if he was mourning a relationship that hadn't happened because of strict royal rules. This moment showed Charles's more sensitive side, reminding everyone that even kings face regret and loss. His story highlights a universal truth. Sometimes, even with everything, we can still lose the one thing that matters most. A lifetime of regret. What Charles wants the world to know. As King Charles spoke about love, his emotions were clear. He said, "On behalf of all my family, I can only offer the most sincere and heartfelt thanks." His voice showed that he wasn't just talking about love in general. He was thinking about his choices, sacrifices, and the love he's lost over the years. Many people see kings as having everything, wealth and power, but Charles challenged that idea. He pointed out that being a king means carrying a heavy burden of duty and responsibility. His decisions affect not only him, but also many others. From a young age, he had to put royal obligations first, often sacrificing his happiness. Charles shared the pain of a life focused on duty. He often had to let go of his desires for royal expectations. The love he mentioned wasn't just about famous relationships. It included a deep connection with a woman unknown to the public. She represented what he could never have. Because she didn't fit the royal standards, he had to part with her, and this choice stayed with him throughout his life. Troubled Diana and Charles's relationship. Despite their fairy tale wedding, Charles and Diana's marriage was uneasy from the start. Early problems arose because Charles continued to have a close relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles, which hurt Diana. Her diary shows how she struggled with his emotional distance and lack of commitment. The breaking point came not from one argument, but from years of emotional neglect. Diana suspected Charles was involved with Camilla, but the royal family pressured her to keep up appearances. Expected to be the perfect wife and mother, her feelings were often ignored, leaving her feeling isolated and abandoned, which she wrote about in her diary. Diana reached her breaking point during a heated argument with Charles about Camilla. After confronting him many times, he dismissed her feelings, calling her overly emotional. Diana wrote, "He treated me as if my feelings didn't matter. I reached my limit." This emotional neglect was a common theme in their relationship, where she felt trapped by royal expectations and often faced Charles's indifference. She described moments of humiliation, like when he joked at her expense. She wrote, "To him it's funny, but to me it's no joke. I feel like I'm dying inside." Her resentment grew, exemplified by her entry that said, "Go to hell," showing her desire to be heard. Diana also faced strain from Charles's jealousy of her rising popularity. While she became a global icon, Charles's insecurity created more problems in their marriage. He criticized her looks and downplayed her contributions, leaving her feeling undervalued. Despite hoping for mutual respect, she felt constantly undermined. Charles's affair with Camilla heavily affected Diana. Conversations about his betrayal often ended with him being indifferent. In a meaningful moment, when she asked if he loved Camilla, he responded, "What do you want me to do about it?" This made Diana feel overshadowed and trapped in her pain, leading her to write, "No matter how much I try, he always turns to her." Diana's diary reveals her emotional struggles caused by Charles's infidelity. She felt worthless and lonely, trapped in a loveless marriage while pretending everything was fine for the monarchy. Her writings show moments of hopelessness and describe her intense pressure to appear perfect. "I feel like I can't breathe in this existence," she wrote, revealing her inner pain. As her mental health worsened, she battled bulimia and had thoughts of suicide. She felt exhausted from pretending and experienced deep loneliness, even when surrounded by people. Diana felt unsupported, and her cries for help were often ignored. One haunting entry reveals her despair as she contemplated suicide. "I was so exhausted." The emotional neglect from Charles heightened her struggles, leading her to cope through her eating disorder. Ultimately, her diary provides an honest view of her battles with depression and isolation. Despite her pain, Diana showed strength, writing, "I have more strength than they realize." Diana's struggles profoundly affected her sons, William and Harry. When they were young, Prince William and Harry quietly dealt with the sadness of losing their mother, Princess Diana. William later reflected on the pain of mourning her publicly, especially remembering their last phone call before her tragic death. He regretted that their conversation ended too soon. In the HBO documentary, Diana, Our Mother, he explained how her loss shattered his world, even with support from his family. Diana's journal showed her emotional struggles during her marriage to Charles, including his infidelity. William and Harry likely sensed the tension at home, even as children. As adults, they better understand the challenges she faced and how these experiences have impacted their relationship with their father. William tries to support Charles and honor Diana's legacy with care. Harry has been more affected by their mother's struggles and has shared how her hardships influenced his choices, reflecting her feelings of being trapped by royal duties. Despite their different ways of coping, both brothers work to preserve Diana's memory. They do this through speeches and charity work, honoring her as a caring woman and sharing her story respectfully. Thanks for watching this video. I appreciate you spending your valuable time with me.